for-profit addiction tycoons win, selling an addictive drug that they are blatantly lying about. And it's not surprising that they're lying about it, because they lied about nicotine. They lied about cigarettes. They're lying about their e-cigs and vapes and everything else. They're lying. We can't trust these people who sell products that hurt and kill and addict. We can't trust them. So,
did you just say kill?
Absolutely. They sell products that kill.
How many people have been killed by cannabis?
Cigarettes kill.
Well, somebody's probably got a DWI on high, right? Martha, you think that? I'm saying nobody's overdosed. Nobody's physically overdosed, I don't think ever. But
so the way that potency has changed marijuana, I think overdose may be likely in the coming years. But what we're seeing is people dying on the roads from people impaired by marijuana. We've seen a child die from ingestion of a marijuana edible in Virginia. We've seen a number of different stories that have happened like this. So there are a lot of people that are dying from this. And so you need to actually only ask parents.
Well, I don't know about that. Luke, a lot of people die from weed. Come on.
In fact, I'll actually, so this is a book that just came out, was just given to me. This is Randy and Heather Backus from Minnesota. Their son had no history of psychosis or schizophrenia. Read this book, A Higher Love. He developed psychotic symptoms, and then he ended up killing himself because of a psychotic episode driven by high potency marijuana use. Ask them if marijuana is killing people. They'll give you a loud and clear answer, and you can read a book about it. So,
but that's true. But that's one person but we don't even know. He could have been molested. I'm not saying that happened. I'm not trying to disgrace it, but we don't know. It was
the only story I had.
You just said we couldn't use anecdotal evidence.
Luke, you are right. There's probably a lot of people that have committed suicide after using marijuana. I agree with you on that. Yes,
talking about the parents whose kids have died from this drug, who would be very upset right now at you laughing, saying,
well, is it young people that are doing it? Is it younger people that are doing it?
Luke, because it's predominantly young people now, because they're being targeted by this industry. So I think it's really important to say that. But so that's one. You wanted me to ask, you asked me about alcohol.
But you know why we laugh real quick? We're not laughing because it's insensitive, because anybody that knows about marijuana, it's like maybe the super high potent new marijuana, you can OD and die, but you're not going to OD and die even from 1,000 milligram gummy. Well, you're just going to get really high and sick.
The public thinks it's crazy to even think that somebody would be hurt in this way, or even develop mental health issues from these products. That's why it's important to understand that they've changed so much. The average product 2 decades ago was 3 to 5% THC. Now it's 99% THC. It's a totally different drug. It doesn't do the same things that it used to do. So that's
I agree with Luke on that.
I'm going to tell you that
what else?
I
wanted to talk about the alcohol thing real quick.
The plant itself does not grow in a 99% chance. That is, it doesn't exist. What you're talking about, 99% is chemically altered and or it concentrates.
Yeah, and that's what the industry does. Is when they get there.
And
so
what
here's
that
the thing:
means is that people
when you
can
legalize
use less
something,
quantity.
it doesn't stay natural. The marijuana plant in a state of nature 3 decades ago, if you found it growing out in a field, it had 2 to 3% THC in it. Now the average is well over 20%, and products are up to 99% potent. That didn't happen naturally. That has happened from chemical lab creations. Where did the chemicals and the lab creations come from? From the inception of this industry, which was created when we legalized marijuana. You know, you have all these people who are, she talked about these cartels and the gangs and whatever from previous decades. They couldn't even dream up dabbing marijuana and these shatters and these waxes. None of these product classes existed before legalization.
No, you can. They are strong though, Martha. The waxes and dabs are very strong.
You can purchase all of these products, like you said, Luke. That's absolutely correct. Now, first of all, going back to what the potency was 20 years ago, that you don't even know, because the standards, the lab testing has developed accordingly with technology. So also, it was illegal. Which lab exactly was testing that illegal Mexican brick that used to come across the border? So it's funny that you're basing this on some illegal weed before, and now it's this high potency. So first of all, the highest.
Martha, real quick, I hate to keep it interrupted. You don't think marijuana is a lot stronger now? In my lifetime, it's gotten I didn't have dabs. My dad, maybe my dad knows what a dab is, but my dad didn't have dabs. Your mom didn't have dabs. Now you go to a cannabis place. It is. I think we can all agree that now you can get it more concentrated and it's a little more intense than.
And you know what that means? Yeah. It means that you can use less quantity to get to the same place you want to go. So you can do a dab. Look, I haven't gotten a sentence in the last few minutes because you just keep interrupting. So I'd appreciate if you just give me a minute. You said several different things. You equated the alcohol lobby, and you said that there's no way around getting over this big intrusive government protected monopoly, which is simply not true. People today are able to to roll their own tobacco cigarettes. They don't have to purchase the tobacco from the big companies. But beyond that, cannabis is literally a weed. It grows very easily. People, if it wasn't illegal, could grow it in their own homes. So this idea that if we somehow make it legal, it's going to be this monopoly because these corporations make it so is simply false. You are using propaganda to try and scare people into believing what you believe, which is that somehow everybody's just going to be high off of this super high potency thing, which is true. We now have options. You can go into a smoke store. You can go into a dispensary. You can go into many places. You can go into a place like Planet 13 in Las Vegas, which is this huge location where they have all these crazy things that you can, chocolate factory. They've got all these crazy things. Sure. You can purchase whatever type of cannabis you want in these legal states. And what it is showing us is that natural cannabis doesn't grow past 30%, 34%, I think is the highest at the cannabis cup that we've ever seen. So this idea that it's at this 99 percentile is false. Wholeheartedly reject that premise. What you're talking about are these concentrates. And you are correct. Some people require a larger dose. You are comparing what, for example, somebody like myself, which I do smoke a natural plant, and that's more than enough for me. But I have, thanks to my advocacy work, met many people, including veterans from multiple groups, that they use those dabs because for them, a larger concentration is what helps them function and get through their pain, get through their PTSD, get through several things. So to use this like, oh, well, if people have options, they're just going to be, off the walls with cannabis is really, that I find a lot more offensive. There are a lot more people that go fight in wars for this country and come back with conditions that use this product and use those high concentrate dabs. Weed for Warriors is the group that I used to connect with a lot on this, and they are the ones that taught me about dabs and how much it helps them. So I do take offense to what you said in that, because you are basically saying that people shouldn't be able to get the dose that they need, or that they'd have to chain smoke cigarettes to get to that same level of relief.
I'm so fly, I'm aligned with the planes. My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself